Okay, here at the park with the jungle dog, and this is a good time to start in on a few topics that I needed to cover that don't really fit into the critique of trainers on YouTube or the vidcast or podcast sort of stuff. It's answering some questions that I've had, a bunch of questions that I've had on different aspects. Again, defining what this channel really is about, because it seems to be a confusion about what is going on with this channel and what I'm trying to do. And then also responding to the whole canine aspects. And I'm not going to do this in any particular order, just how I can remember the things, if I can remember them all without having a list here. And maybe you'll see the jungle dog do some stuff. Depends what's going on. He's on his quest here. Oh, those of you who didn't know, he is a tracking dog, used to find other dogs, though, mainly. He found lost dogs in Thailand. He has not been trained or switched over to humans whatsoever, which is what everybody assumes that he does, but no, he doesn't. He's got an incredible nose, an insane nose. He's picked up trails where other dogs can't pick him up. What he's doing now, this is for his own amusement. One of the things that I do is that these are not structured walks where he must do the stormtrooper type of healing for no reason. You know, this guy is a tactical and a film dog. He's done commercials. He is available for, if you notice, he's eating grass, which means he's going to throw up. This won't take too long either, because he'll start throwing up. This is one of the things that he does. Lots of dogs want to do this. It's kind of a bizarre behavior, but we're going to capture that on film. But yes, if you've noticed, he's the best looking dog in the world. He's very photogenic. He doesn't take any bad stuff. So he's done, like I said, commercial work before. So if you need a dog for advertising of any sort, or if you have a short film or anything that you need, especially if you're in this part of the United States, we'll go other places, of course, but if you're in this area, the Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas area, we definitely can do that work. And he's, of course, not the only dog I have, as you notice, as you know. But anyway, let's get out of there. He's gonna come up here, and he's gonna start having to throw up here in a bit, which captured on film. He actually can't handle, just one blade of grass will make him throw up. Now, the American Bulldog, the monster American Bulldog, Akuma, he thinks he's a goat. I mean, he'll just actually graze and eat loads of grass, and it doesn't affect him in that way. If you're wondering about his vest, it's a tribute to Vietnam era dogs. One of my people that was an influence on me, I wouldn't say a mentor exactly, but an influence, was a scout dog handler when I was young. That's another story. I won't go into that at this point, but some of these are legitimate Vietnam patches, and one or two are recreations, but most of them are legitimate from Vietnam, from the US, obviously. And there's a Thai one. A lot of people nowadays don't even know what these are. They don't ask me. I had some Vietnam vets who have asked me a bunch of questions. And yeah, I know the Vietnam War pretty well. Pretty well. Anyway, so to get on to the subjects that I wanted to talk about here, and as I said, no particular order, this is sort of stream of consciousness. as it were. And that is, what is the channel about? Well, it's about all dog training. I'm not in a particular niche, which kind of throws people off, and it's kept I guess the subscribership down, because people want to get into their niche. Like if you see the people who just do working dog, as in mainly meaning the bite dogs, the detection dogs is another story. And there aren't a lot of people on YouTube with detection dog stuff, but there are a lot of bite sports. If I were just doing IGP or rings or Mondio ring or PSA, any of that stuff, other than K and PV, which is actually not really a sport, it's a qualification test. And I have a lot of friends in that who train those dogs. And that's far harder than anything in IGP and stuff. But without going into the details on any of that stuff, I don't just do that. Yes, I train bite dogs, protection dogs, and I have trained military dogs for quite a while, for a long time. And that's not my emphasis right now, because I don't have the infrastructure. I wish I did. I wish I had the infrastructure to turn out protection dogs only. Because I like that, but I don't just do that. And you'll see things, of course, some people consider some of the stuff that I do is tricks, but it's more, I'm movie oriented to TV oriented, and that stuff can look like trick training. Some people shirk back because they only use, again, these niche areas in sports. They only use certain dogs, so the people who train in those areas learn those dogs, and they use methods that only work with those dogs. You cannot use Malinois techniques with a basset hound. And if you watch the podcast vidcast, you'll know that we talk about basset hounds quite a bit. So anyway, so the whole thing is all about dog training. And again, I'm the only person on YouTube who has as many years, 50 years of training, and I've trained all sorts of different types of dogs, and from all sorts of niches. Sled dogs, which if you're smart, you'll pay attention to long distance mushers. They know more about dogs than you'll ever know in your damn life. And they also have a bond with dogs that no agility bullshit trainer will ever have. And I also trained bird dogs for a little while. It's my first personal dog that I had. My first dog was a German short-haired pointer, and of course that's a very versatile hunting dog, used for many things. Used for detection, used for, of course, birds, and used for rabbits and raccoons and all that stuff. I don't hunt, and that takes a lot of infrastructure also to train bird dogs, and that's really not what I'm interested in. I'll do the yard work, as they call it, which is the obedience. The yard work training, no problem with that, but I'm not one of those people who is doing retrievers and flushers and concentrating on bird dogs like pointers, setters, retrievers, spaniels, all that stuff. And those are unique dogs also. And the techniques you can use with a pointer, you can't get away with some other dogs. They're fairly smart dogs, and they can take high stress. So can many German short-haired pointers. Okay, so I'm mentioning these things because I've covered a lot of areas, and that's what I'm saying. The channel is about dog training, mainly about dog training. And my main emphasis, of course, is for dog trainers to become better dog trainers, because my resources are best in the entire gamut of things by expanding and improving other people who've been training, because they can't do what I can do. And which leads me to this point. I'm a little sick and tired of the fact that I hold records on YouTube, and I've done things on YouTube that other people cannot match, won't match. Point blank asked to compete with me, and they run away. They run away, and then instead of admitting that I'm far better than they are, they try to dismiss it, detract, and act like assholes, basically. I've had people who say, well, you know, I could probably do it, or I can do it. No, you can't do it unless you do it. You know, tell me about how you're also an astronaut. Tell me about how you can also run a 4-minute mile. I don't care what you tell me, it's what you can do. See, I come from, among other things, professional fighting background, and talking doesn't cut it. You know, I make big claims, conflict doesn't bother me, so when all these people get all upset, oh, you're too rude in this, what are you paying me? What are you paying me? Zero. And yet I'm showing you people that I can do far more than anyone else. People who want to dismiss the fact that I have a 120-pound American Bulldog that can switch lip. Hey, assholes, get it through your head, just like Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier. No one else has done that. Might be for the smart people, who are not very many it seems, a clue that I can do things other people can't do. I must have methods they don't have. And if trying to dismiss it, then do it. Prove it to me. Prove it to me. You can't do it. And none of the Border Collie, Australian Shepherd, etc. trainers can attempt it. They won't attempt it. They run away. And I'm a little sick and tired of it. Admit. It's just like being a world champion. And you're some kid, oh, I can be world champion. No, you can't, kid, you punk. You can't. You got to claw your way up there and prove it. And people who have theories about things, I don't care about your theories. Let's see what you can actually do. It's not about theories, it's about what you can actually do. So this goes to the aspect of me taking a huge amount of disrespect. Because the fact is, nobody is willing to try the Jedi Dog Master Challenge. And let me explain why a little bit better, so that the people who actually are interested can get a glimpse of the reasoning. The reasoning is because it's a trainer's test. Yes, the dogs have got to do it, but you've got to prove that you're a great trainer with a variety of different types of dogs. And this is something, of course, with the movie dog training, which is one of the reasons why Robert and I have talked about movie dog trainers being superior to everyone else, because you got to know a whole bunch of things. You don't get to cherry pick and card stack with the dogs that you use, especially if you're not on a series or something with a lead dog. And you can check out some of the things where I talk about Rin Tin Tin. Of course, Lee Duncan, major idol of mine, big influence, did things that other people haven't done. And also, that was one dog, always one dog. He had 3 through the years, 3 Rin Tin Tins, but they did all their own stuff. There were no stand-ins, there were no doubles, nothing. Which is also the reason why he didn't have so many different dogs that he worked with, because he put everything into those dogs. Which may seem like a tangent, but it's not. It's explaining to you the background of things that we go through here as far as understanding the dogs. So you don't always get. Now, Rin Tin Tin was, especially 1 and 3, were exceptional, were incredible dogs, just like my Tier 1 Dutch Shepherd. And those people don't understand what a Tier 1 Dutch Shepherd is. Well, too bad. You know, Junior, I'm not here to educate everybody. Your ignorance is not my burden to solve. You should take it as a gift, anything that I put out there. Now, people are like, well, you don't explain everything in your tutorials one by one. Yeah, what are you paying me? Nothing. And that leads me to the fact, now, if you want to look at Michael Ellis or Ivan Balabanoff or anybody that's at any level, Dave Croyer, just names could throw out there that you might know, because you won't know some of the other people I could mention. The Stoney Dennis for bird dogs, Hickox for bird dogs, the Smith brothers for bird dogs. You're not going to get them to give you proprietary information for nothing, absolutely nothing. And you want to learn from these people? You can pay a lot of money, especially if you want to go to legitimate dog training schools where you'll get a job, like Tom Rose and Tar Heel, which I keep advertising, but only because they are good at what they do. You're going to spend $40,000 easily. to get that. And you know, you can, of course, you can spend that much or more with Ivan, but you're not going to get a job out of it, or with Michael Ellis, and you're not going to get a job out of it. So I bring that up to those people. Now, I have mentorships, and they're more rigorous than the stuff you're going to do at those schools, because there's an academic side, because I am an academic, and I am academically published, and I do have a degree in behavioral sciences, and I had to pass classes in operant and respondent conditioning, which even the would-be experts, some of the wannabe, you know, I was a dolphin trainer, porpoise trainer, killer whale trainer, and now I'm a dog trainer. It's not exactly the same thing whatsoever. And Gary Wilkes goes into the differences of that, and I won't cover that. If you don't know who Gary Wilkes is, you need to look him up. A lot of people don't like him personally, but his skill is high, and he was incredibly influential. So those of you who are all confused with stuff, and you're in the little camps, because they create their own little camps, the Karen Pryor camp, the Jean Donaldson camp, the Denise Finzi, who ran from me because she doesn't want to take my challenge, and she also doesn't want to prove to me that her methods will work, calling a boarhound off of a boar from a quarter mile or more away, which is what happens. Also, you know, like Kathy Sadow, I mention these names because, man, I know everybody, everything that's in these fields. I know them all. I know the whole history of obedience training in the United States. These other people don't. I mentioned Winifred Strickland. They have no damn clue who I'm talking about. Shows that you're ignorant. And again, it's not my burden to cure your ignorance. I'm merely pointing it out, like the finger pointing to the moon. You need to cure this stuff. And if you don't know that, and I do, that would mean that I'm superior to you. And if you have a problem with that, then cure your inferiority. Don't blame me for being superior to you. Same thing with the fact that I can do a switch limp, 3-dog challenge, or quarter-mile sit-stay and recall, which a lot of people who are upset with that, oh, well, I don't need to do that. You can't do it. Just like you can't be an astronaut, you can't be an Olympic athlete. Quit trying to diminish something else. And the quarter mile is nothing. It was meant as inspiration, motivation, which only the matriarch picked up on, and she did a downstay and quarter mile recall. And so I'm very happy about the fact that it was motivation and inspiration to her, and she will tell you. Contact her, and she'll tell you. Now again, she also is working with a large number of dogs, and this is something I want to make a whole video depicted to, and that's the fact of the charlatans, the two-faced lying people who say, oh, I'm in this to help dogs. How many dogs do they have? One? You know, come on. How many dogs do they help? None. They help people in the suburbs and the urban areas who can have a disposable income of a huge amount of money. They're not helping dogs. Yeah. How many do they save? How many do they personally have? I have more dogs at this point in time than 99% of these would-be people have in their lifetime at this one time. There's only a few of us who actually do. The matriarch is one. There's a woman in Phoenix, Arizona, who also has, and I need to contact her, try to get her on a vidcast. He sees the squirrel. I'm going to tell him to go watch this. Hike! Now, there's control, people. There's control. There's control. So, reeling in this 50-foot leash with one hand is not the easiest thing in the world. So, that guy's actually a pretty cool dog over there. Yeah, the jungle dog doesn't care about the ducks and the geese. Not interested. Now, squirrels he is. And rabbits. But he'll also wait and stalk them. And when I tell him to go, he'll go, as you saw. Which I should make a big deal about, because few people can show that level. And this leads me, I mean, this is all these things are connected. And the fact of getting disrespected for the fact that I can do things other people can't do, it's just unbelievably, you know, I'm trying to figure this out if this is a mill and a sub-mill thing, because people from my generation, they keep wanting to try to change the names of the generation, which is another whole video I could do, because it's just the delirium that they have about trying to be accurate is incredible. But anyway, the fact that you got to prove yourself. My whole generation was about you had to prove yourself. Any job, any task, anything that you did, volunteer work, anything, you had to prove yourself. You didn't get to come in and be a failure and then blame other people and say that they were rough on you. Yeah, it was rough. Everything was rough. You had to prove yourself all the time. And this leads me to back to my mentorships and apprenticeships. Now, apprenticeships, I've had people who are interested to do it. Being interested doesn't mean anything. It's just like you want to be an astronaut, or you want to make it in special operations, or you want to be a professional athlete. That's not enough. You've got to prove yourself. You got to jump through the hoops. You got to do the prerequisites to get in there. And nothing's going to be graded down and easy for you. Now, mentorships have different levels, but mentorships require that you do a bunch of academic reading to be grounded in the theory, and then you have a lot of practical stuff you have to do, but you have to be able to think on your own. And I have a lot of people who do it several months, and then they hit a impasse because they want me to hand them the answers when their study and the exercises they've done before that should have led them to attempt to get the correct answer. And instead of fighting through it and pushing on, they quit, which is what you see in special operations selection quite a bit. When it starts getting harder, and when they have to push, and when they don't understand it, a lot of people quit. Look, I'm not trying to get you through it. I'm only offering this to people who want to be able to do what I can do. So to do what I can do means you got to be able to get part of my background. Of course, now you can't get the 50 years, and a lot of the people I had contact with are dead, and all the years of different dog training, different areas, you're not going to be able to do that. So the best way, of course, is to come to me, and I will give you the salient aspects and also correct a lot of things. Like I'm saying, a lot of the people who are the mammal, the water mammal trainers, they're not the only ones, but they don't know what respondent conditioning is. They do not know. They don't know. They can't define it, and they make confusion with a lot of things. And I'll say at this point, people who want to say associative learning is classical conditioning. No, it is not. That is not the definition of classical, Pavlovian, or respondent conditioning. And plus, a lot of people talk about Pavlov, but they've never read Pavlov at all. They know nothing about him. There's a huge myth that everybody, 99% of everyone, repeats. And it's only the people who actually studied Pavlov who get the thing correct. And I can just ask people a question, and I won't go into it here because it's one of the things I do to test people. What their background knowledge is. So, if a lot of people, they want flash and trash and entertainment. This is education, and this is being serious about education. You got to apply yourself. You got to have focus. This isn't, for the TikTok people and the sub-mills who have absolutely no ability to focus and have never made it through a book, and certainly haven't had to make it through 30 textbooks in 8 weeks because they don't have it. They don't have the ability. This isn't for you. I mean, that's just, I'm not trying to make this so everyone can do it. You have to prove yourself. Again, that's what you have to do. So the channel, again, let me recap stuff, because a lot of you are not able to follow points, and I'm not getting paid to make this into a syllabus outline. But the channel's overarching thing is motivation, inspiration for all levels of dog training, and I'm here mainly to help dog trainers become better dog trainers, those people who are interested. I can do what other people can't do. Means I know stuff that you don't know. Means I know stuff that other people don't know. And I show a variety of different types of dogs. I don't just cherry pick and stack like the Malinois people do. I'm not just in the agility examples of that, or IGP. That's not what I do. Those are pattern-based things. And again, I come from a tactical movie background. Both of those are functional, real life, and some of the other things I've done are functional. The bird dog stuff, functional. The sled dog stuff, functional. Anything where there's grave injury that can happen is functional and more serious. Agility dog trainers don't risk a damn thing. You know, what happens if they don't have a trick? It doesn't work. That's why they don't know how to train a dog to get away from rattlesnakes. That's what I was going to with Kathy Sadao. She has no clue with her overly wrought explanations of different things. You know, I haven't seen any dog that she's trained that she can't pass the Jedi Dog Master challenge. I've called her out. I've called out loads of people, and they're silent. They run away. They won't attempt it because they'll look like shit compared to me. So this is what, you know, point is, one, don't disrespect the fact that I can outperform other people, that I can do things other people can't do. If they can do it, don't talk about it, show me the video. And if you think a quarter mile is all I can do with my Tier 1 Dutch Shepherd, you're sadly mistaken. But like everyone else who wants money, has Patreon and all this other stuff, and they're making, some of these people are making over $500,000 a year from their video stuff. I'm making absolutely nothing. I'm spending money. I'm spending money to be out there because I'm trying to say, look, I'm motivation, inspiration, I'm a resource. If you want to be able to do this, I can do things other people can't do. I've proven it over and over and over again with a plethora of dogs. I have more dogs. I save dogs' life. I actually give a damn about dogs. This guy right here, everybody wants this dog, but nobody wanted to go 12,500 miles and spend weeks getting him to accept him in the jungle. Didn't want to do it. Didn't want to do it. None of them. Assholes. And that's not the only dog, but this dog, I have dogs that nobody else has. I have a trainer of dogs that nobody else has on YouTube. There's one guy who's in Southeast Asia who's doing basic stuff, and he's like, that dog looks like he's from Southeast Asia. Yeah, well, you got that right, because he is. So I'm the only person with a jungle dog that can do film work. I'm the only one that has a monster 120-pound American Bulldog that can do what he can do. Watch what he can do. It's, you know, that's why I have him do it. I'm doing things with honey dogs that other people can't do. And of course, I've got the 3-dog challenge, which you think it looks easy? Yeah, you can't do it. And also, again, the quarter-mile sit, stay, and recall, which other people cannot do. Cannot do it. Oh, as well, Ivan can do it. You know, Michael Ellis can do it. Where are their damn videos? You know, it doesn't matter what you say, it's what you can do. Okay, I need to clarify a few things. Here I am with Bandit. He's a good guy. He's just now starting his training, actually. And you may see him in other videos doing other things, but I need to clarify for the people who have been asking, and just as a general clarification on the mentorships and the apprenticeships. Okay, mentorships, there are several different levels, different tiers that you can do, and the 4th tier is the basic one. It's still very thorough, very rough. Now I got to say that if you do you have to be approved to do the tier 1 level, because it's moving like graduate school. If you had graduate school, as in a comparison, you have to read a lot, you have a lot to do, and you have to stay on time. This is not get it done on your own time. When you're on a tier 1, you have to get things done quickly. Also, even on the tier 4, you still have deadlines, and if you start falling behind the deadlines, then we just stay there. Now, the mentorships are to give you the approximation of being a cynologist. And what is a cynologist? A cynologist is an expert about canines, all canines, because I'm not just covering the pet dogs, and I'm not just covering the domesticated dogs that have been man artificially bred, meaning that man has had a lot to do with them as far as creating them for specific things. A lot of people get caught up in this. They don't know anything about pariah dogs, village dogs, or jungle dogs, which are the real dogs, and there are still more of those around the world than there are of the artificially bred dogs, the breeds, as people want to say. There's, you know, they look at my jungle dog, you're like, well, what breed is he? He's a real dog. Before breeds, it's like looking at a squirrel. Oh, what breed of squirrel is that? Yes, there are different types of squirrels, just like there are coyotes or there's jackals. There are African Cape dogs, there are wolves, some variations of wolves, but their DNA is all very close. And this is something that you will learn, of course, going through the mentorships. Now, I got to say this because I've had people, a lot more people do mentorships. Some are actively in it right now, some have been in it, some have given up and quit, because as I said before, it's sort of like special operations thing. You may want to do it, but you got to put out an effort constantly, and you got to prove yourself constantly, progress, and to continue on. You're not owed it, you're not entitled it. Yes, you're paying, because I'm investing a lot of time and energy into you, and you're not going to get that level of education anywhere else for even a fifth of what you're paying me. So let's just put it in perspective. And then, okay, so if you want to do apprenticeship, I've had people say they want to move and come here and do apprenticeship. Yeah, I'm all for that. And the thing is, so it's not free. If you come up, you show up, no. You have to do a mentorship for a month. You have to do, which would be, you'll pay for a tier 4, but you're going to do a tier 2, because if you want to do apprenticeship, you've got to prove yourself to me. So I'm not investing my time and energy in you to do apprenticeship. And yes, you'll come and you'll work and you'll pay the dues. You're going to do things. It's not going to just be kennel cleaning or something like that, but you're going to be around dogs. You're not just going to be handed over stuff. Now, I got to put this in perspective, because a lot of people nowadays, especially the pet dog trainers, have these things where they do shadowing. And that means you just follow the guy around, the dog trainer, male or female, and they don't really explain things to you. They just allow you to be with them, and you're trying to pick up pointers from how they're going about training the pet dogs. Generally it's pet dogs. Some people do it with hunting dogs, stuff like that. But beyond that is the apprenticeship, which would be longer, because shadowing, some people just do for a day, a week, a month, whatever. But you're paying a lot of money for that. In comparison, you're paying a lot less to do an apprenticeship with me. But you're going to be doing a lot of stuff, because I will, at the end, if you make it through, again, just like being an astronaut or on the Olympic team or making it into special forces, I'm going to put my reputation on your ability, because I will say that you're a cynologist at this point, meaning you have a great amount of academic study, but you also have practical functional skills, and that you have proven those in a variety of ways. And that's just something I want to make that clear. Now, in comparison, I got to do this again. Other people are far more expensive, but they're not as thorough. And all the people that you're going to go to, they're not capable of doing what I've done. This is the thing. Look at it. Now, if they could do it, where are the videos? And if they don't have videos, they're incapable of doing it. These are facts, empirical evidence. Don't let that empirical evidence slide past you with this postmodernism that's going around with people. Okay, so explaining that hopefully that's enough detail for you to get. I welcome you to try. Go ahead and try. But again, You're not owed it. Just trying to do it doesn't mean you're going to make it. You have to prove yourself. It's a constant achievement to stay in the program and do it. And if you don't keep up at apprenticeship, you're booted. I'll just tell you that. And if you're doing tier 1 mentorship and you don't keep up, you're booted from tier 1. You can do tier 2 or tier 3 or tier 4, but you're booted out of tier 1. So just keep that in mind. And some of the details, of course, are listed on my website, especially the deepdogbondmethod.com site that goes into some more details. But I wouldn't explain that, so because I get a lot of people asking me, I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that. Yes, of course. A lot of people want to be Olympic athletes, but they're not willing to pay the dues and put in the time and sacrifice and the training that's necessary. Same thing with this, with the canines, because I'm thorough. I'm not just doing, it's going to be far more than if you were doing shadowing or doing some seminars with other people. Now, let me remind you that my YouTube site is not monetized at this time. I don't have merchandise. I don't have Patreon on it. I don't have online videos that you pay for through a subscription field. I am not making money like Cabral or Schumer or quite a few other people who, and in the case of Cabral, he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Plus, then they got some sponsorship stuff going on too, and they're affiliated with other people. They're not doing any of this for free. None of it is for free. It's a funnel to get you in to look at the stuff. Now, hey, fine, but you be aware of that, because people, what I put out is a gift, because I'm actually spending money putting this out. My websites also, I'm paying for websites. I know some people don't even have websites anymore. They just do YouTube and Facebook stuff. These are the reality. They have the supporter for the channel. People are paying them through that. They do chats. They have monetized chats now. They have videos. They have merch, as everyone's, and people are cleaning up on merch. All these things are revenue coming in. I don't have that at this time. I do not have that. What I offer you is mentorships, apprenticeships, consultations, which I'm not as expensive as some other people, and again, I can do things other people can't. So this is the calling card here. Obviously, if I can do things that other people can't do, it means I know something they don't know, and I'm able to do things they cannot do. If they can do it, then they would do it. This is the thing. Again, I'm going to reiterate some of the examples. They're not Chuck Yeager. They didn't break the sound barrier. I did it. The things that I've done haven't been duplicated. The Jedi Dog Master Challenge. Why do so many people try to belittle it and put it down? Because they don't have the ability to do it. And they're not willing to step up and risk anything to do it. Look, yes, just like I've said many times, I was #1 world rated contender as a light heavyweight. You don't get there without risking. You don't also get into the championship fights without putting up money to get to that point. Before you can win the money, you got to put up money. Same thing. If you want a challenge and you have to document it, all the rules are on my websites, by the way, for that, and on a couple of the videos. And nobody wants to step up to do it. Oh, they talk to me. Oh, they do IGP. They're spending hell of a lot more money doing IGP than trying to take the Jedi Dog Master Challenge. They're spending more money for rings. They're spending more money for agility. All these things. And that's one narrow little niche, like I've said many times. Or if they're doing field trials with the bird dogs, hunting dogs, they're spending more money than this. And they're not showing the breadth and depth of knowledge. And this is what I, again, reiterate. The channel is about me showing and demonstrating that I have a wealth of ability, and the movie dog, you're not going to learn movie dog training from other places. That's one of the things. Seminars and workshops are available. They are available. And again, if you don't like how I come across, how much are you paying me to get this? It's a gift. It's a gift. Don't be ingrates. That's one of the things I got to tell you. Don't be ingrates, and show me that people can match me. Don't tell me that they can and they're this and that. Hey, let's see them do the things I can do with the dogs too. These aren't just cherry-picked, card-stacked the deck type dogs I'm working with. This dog right here is a found stray, 6 years old, a little older than that because he was microchipped, betrayed, abandoned dog. And from what I can tell, he's had no training whatsoever. He's a nice guy, though. And so we're starting out, you know, and yes, I'll be able to train him. And things I've done, again, you know, who has a monster American Bulldog? And I'm going to keep drilling that because I am sick and tired of people ignoring the fact that no one can match me. If you can't match me, sit down, Junior, shut up, take notes. And again, it's all a gift. And if you can't value that, get off my channel. I don't need you. I don't need your comments. I don't need any of your stuff. And if you can beat me, let's see it. Show it.